Opening up an IDE to write standard linear automation scripts in 2026 ensures you will fall behind the rest of the industry. An IDE, or Integrated Development Environment, is the standard software application where programmers traditionally write and test their code. For years, computer science engineering relied on writing a strict set of rules. The logic was entirely step-by-step. If condition A happens, execute action B. This linear approach is blind to its surroundings. It assumes the digital environment around it will remain perfectly static. The moment a website slightly updates its user interface, your standard web scraping script breaks. It cannot adapt to the new layout, so it panics and crashes. Engineering now focuses on building autonomous workers capable of making independent decisions. Companies have stopped funding code that breaks when a website updates. Static scripts have become a technical liability that requires constant human intervention. The new standard replacing those brittle scripts is Agentic AI. To build an agent, you provide the system with a broad goal, like researching the week's top machine learning papers and summarizing them into a PDF. At the core of this system is a large language model acting as the brain. A large language model is an artificial intelligence program trained on vast amounts of text to understand and generate human language. This central brain receives the broad goal and independently breaks it down into smaller, actionable tasks. Through tool integration, the agent realizes it lacks the specific information needed, so it reaches out to an external utility like a web search, uses the tool, and extracts the necessary data. Because it has comprehension capabilities, the agent reads this newly acquired data on its own. If a link is dead or a search returns the wrong result, it catches its own error without crashing. It uses that feedback to correct its course, trying a new search or a different method until it successfully generates the final output. It plans, acts, and loops through the problem entirely on its own. This architecture results in software that identifies its own errors and corrects them in real time. Building these autonomous systems in a real-world environment requires an upgraded technical stack. First, you need an orchestration framework. In our classes, we focus heavily on frameworks like CrewAI and AutoGen. CrewAI and AutoGen are specific software libraries designed to let multiple AI models talk to each other and coordinate complex tasks. These frameworks allow you to spin up a multi-agent workflow. You can deploy a researcher agent that gathers data, which it then hands off to a coder agent that writes the actual program, which is finally reviewed by a QA agent. Second, an agent is useless if it cannot interact with the real world. You must connect your language models to external APIs, SQL databases, and local file systems. APIs, or Application Programming Interfaces, are sets of rules that allow different software programs to communicate with each other. SQL, which stands for Structured Query Language, is the standard programming language used to manage and extract data from relational databases. Mastering this orchestration and tool integration separates developers using outdated tools from modern systems engineers. Enterprise companies across the US, UK, and India are actively hiring for these specific skills. They want engineers capable of building autonomous systems that save thousands of hours of manual labor. A standard to-do list app no longer distinguishes a candidate in a competitive market. A local AI agent that can autonomously debug a codebase demonstrates the exact technical competency firms are currently prioritizing. Organizations heavily compensate engineers who can design multi-agent workflows that run securely on local, sovereign servers because it keeps their proprietary data safe while scaling their operational output. Stop writing rigid code. Start building dynamic systems. Your homework for this week is to build a single, one-tool agent. Give an open-source model access to Wikipedia and assign it a complex question to answer. Get comfortable with the architecture. Building within this agentic architecture today is the absolute only way to remain indispensable in an automated market. If you want to see a full screen-shared tutorial of me coding an AI agent from scratch, let me know in the comments. Subscribe to continue building with these new tools. Class dismissed.